Okay, so what we have here today is a NAD cassette deck. See where the power comes in, goes right to the switch, then comes out of the switch, and it goes straight into the power transformer without any overcurrent protection in the AC primary. So we're going to put a fuse in it. So we're going to clip these little tie wraps off, carefully not to cut into any of the other wires over here. These are for foreign countries and different voltages. But however, it does have fuses in the secondary, but that won't help any if there's a problem in the AC primary. Okay, so we'll look at some fuses here. We're going to put these 1 amp fuses in. We'll use one. Now if you look at the standard house fuse, see how large the filament is inside there? If something were to go wrong inside the stereo component, while it's taking time to melt this filament inside these house fuses, it can be causing damage to the power transformer and damaging components in the stereo. But the filament in this is so tiny, it will melt this and burn this before it starts a fire. Okay, so we'll start with drilling a hole here to mount our fuse block to. We'll use our vacuum cleaner to pick up any loose pieces of metal so it doesn't go anywhere and short something out. We'll remove any fine burrs. Okay, so now we can unsolder a wire here. We're going to look at our plug. It's not polarized, so it doesn't matter which side we put it on. So I'll take this one off right here. And I'll pull it back. We'll use our solder pump and we'll unsolder this wire here. Okay, so I'll have to open the strain relief here to move the cord in a little bit. You know what? Instead of fussing and putzing, it's going to be easier to drill a hole over here. But I'd be very careful not to burn any wires when I take this wire out. Got the old piece of wire out. I use my pump. Suck the hole out. Okay, so we're going to use a 4060 solder here. We're going to use some rosin flux. And we'll strip this wire here. Get our strands twisted together. Put some flux on it. I could tin it. Okay, so now we can put this in here like that. I'll use nice big wide pliers to squeeze it down. I'll bring that back just a bit. Squeeze it so it looks nice and flush in there. Put some flux on it. Put some solder on my iron. and I'll do what's called a drop solder. Twist the strands together. I'll put some solder on my iron there. Flux the end of this wire some. Melt in this wire. Okay, so I'll use the pliers. I'll squeeze down and get that. I'll bring that insulation up just a bit so it's right where I want it there. I'll get some flux here on the terminal. Put some solder on my iron. And again, I'll just drop solder it. I need to add a little more solder there because it didn't quite fill the hole all the way. There we go, we got a nice fill of the hole. And we're just going to go up to the switch, so we're going to clip some of this off, like right here. I'll be stripping off just a very tiny bit there. And I will twist the strands together. Go in through the hole. I'll make sure I get all the strands wrapped around there. Okay, I'm going to just go around it one more time, make sure all my strands are all in and closed all the way around. I'll take my flux, I'll get some flux on it there. I'm going to clean my tip. And I'll solder this here. I want to make sure you can see. Okay, I'm going to tin the iron a little bit here. I'll turn it so you can see me soldering it. And there it is, all soldered. Tin the iron one now that I'm done with it. And I'll unplug it. Okay, so now we're ready to mount the block into place here. don't tell me I have to go through a whole bunch of screws and look for nuts. Well, I found something very sloppy here from the factory. See that little gap under that clip there? We're going to fix that. Okay, we're going to put our 1/2 amp fuse in down here. And we're going to unscrew this back here. Okay, I'll turn the iron back on. Okay, so we'll take out this secondary fuse here. I'm just going to look at the other one and just see. Okay, so I'll take and put some a little bit of flux on the back of this clip here that's crooked there. I'll put a little solder on my iron there. I'll heat it up, push in. It didn't move, so I'm going to take my this pump here. I'll remove all the solder there. Okay, so it's all nice and pushed in now. I'll flux this up a little bit, and I'll just resolder it. want to fill that pad up completely. There it is, all nicely filled. And I want to fill the other one up here too so it looks better. There, that one's filled. This one doesn't look too healthy right here, so I'll just add a little solder on that one. Add a little more on this one. I have to put a little flux. There, that one looks nice. This one's not quite filled. I'm going to put some flux on this and this, and I'll reheat it. The pad all nice and filled up. There it is, that looks more filled up. And that one is empty. Okay, since the board was at an angle, I'm going to reheat them again and just level off these solder joints. Okay, I just add a little more flux to them. So that one looks a lot better. And this one didn't quite fill up at the bottom. So we'll just add a little more solder to this one. There, that looks beautiful. I like that one. And this doesn't look that healthy either, so I'll reheat it and let's see what's on the other side of that. There's a wire coming through there. So we'll put some flux on here. I like to fill that pad up so it looks good. I don't like how that looks, so I'm going to take, we'll pump this off. This got a little bit on the varnish from the factory over here, so I'm going to just scrape that off a little bit there and I'll resolder that. Okay, so we're ready to resolder this back up together here. Okay, I'll put some flux on both sides of this here, and I'll put some on where this wire is. Clean my tip, and I'll resolder the wire there. See how nice and clean that's coming out? And I'll get this terminal from the bottom of the fuse block resoldered. There, that looks really nice. See how nice and so this one and this one is being used. There's nothing on these two. There's a clip there, a wire, the clip, and the other clip, and nothing on these here. But I'll look over here now. The clip does come in on this side here, and there was no solder there, so I'll put some solder on that just to fill the hole in so it looks better. I'll put some flux on this one here and even it out like I did the other ones. I want the hole looking, there it is, nice and filled. Okay, so we got all our connections all resoldered here, and we're ready to put this board back in place by just putting these two screws back in on between the standoff here. By the way, this standoff is not with police, it's with the circuit board. So there is a close-up of my soldering all done. Okay, and we'll put our two fuses back in here, making sure you put the right amperage one on the proper size, on the proper side. Here is the specs on the unit. And this one is not UL listed. I don't see a UL label on it anywhere. And I don't see a ETL label either. And there's the play record head. It looks like a good quality Sendest alloy head. And there's the front of the unit.